The following is a presentation of Emory Uno Division 2. After much anticipation, the second Final Four match of Jazz July is going to be getting underway in just a bit here, and we will find out who will be going to the final performance here. And two different tales of who will make it there and set up that finale with Marbleside. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Jazz July, second last match of the tournament here and the D2 2026 regular season. Got a great matchup here between two players who are veterans from the 2024 season. Number 3 seed Sky in their second Final Four of the year, going up against number 9 seed Nightwalker, who was the 2024 champion of this tournament, looking to go on a second clutch run here, potentially to maybe make the D2 championship. And with where he's at right now, it's probably going to take a tournament win for him to make the D2 championship like it did in the 2024 season. So we'll see if history can repeat itself, or if Sky will move on into the finale to face off against Marbleside to set up what very likely will be a battle for the number 1 overall seed in the D2 championship. So we'll see how this one plays out, but let's get things rolling here, going into previews here, starting off with the bracket paths here, and going to begin with Sky. Came in as a 3-line, started off pretty solid, got 4-0 win over Alessandro, not too much troubles there, and then went up against Steven, who was the 2024 G2 champion, so a lot of 2024 clashes for Sky here, but very close match, was down 3-1 at one point, but was able to bring it back, win that one 4-3, and move on to the single pay of 16. Or the end of the run of Mazawai in a 4-2 win. Mazawai coming all the way from the play-in, nearly made it to the regional finals, but Sky in their path, stopping the tracks, and then in the regional finals, Sky take it down Marcus, denies Marcus his first Final Four. Sky in their second Final Four, not of their career and this season, and looking to keep things going here and make it to the finale. But on the other end of things, we got Nightwalker, who coming into this tournament was needing a really great run, and nearly didn't happen. As started the tournament swing 64, 4-3 win. Actually had a DQ. Actually had a game forfeit in the middle of that one, so had to was already a game down before the series even started, but barely able to hold on for that. Then faced Tommy in the Triad 32, who was looking to go on an upset run. Very close match there that really went back and forth, but in the end, Nightwalker getting the better of Tommy. And then the round of 16, single pay 16, Knight taking down Yolo, who, again, Yolo was another player who was going on a bit of an upset run, but ultimately comes to an end on the face of Nightwalker, who has just been able to lock in these tournament fours. And then finally, in the regional finals, took down Aiko, which was a bit of a lopsided match there. Aiko got the opening game win, and then Nightwalk won 5 straight, so was able to get it done and make it to the Final Four for the second time in his career. So Sky Nightwalker coming up next. Winner of this gets Marbleside, who beat Rider 5-0. I don't know what, that's not the right way. I'm not sure how that happened, but we will fix that for when we go back to this. But yeah, winner of this gets Marbleside, who beat Rider 5-0. The score got flipped there for some reason, but Marbleside going to be watching this one and waiting to see who he ends up facing in this one here. But we shall see how that goes. All right, gonna go into the bracket here. Aiko will be joining me on co-commentary in just a bit. I did bring some pregame type questions for both Sky and Knight, since I want to try to get the preview of the pregame of this rolling a little quicker, because I'm not necessarily sure the timing on this, and also both are not currently in VC. So again, we'll see what they say. I'm gonna quickly fix the Final Four bracket. I'm not sure how I looked over that. I think I might have been rushing through that to get that done. I think that's existed since the end of that one. So let's correct that real quick, and then we will get back to the preview of the game. that is a slight error there. Did not mean that to have that occur. Again, we'll see what both players say here. Gonna get it started soon. Ypez going to be the ref on this one. Again, I believe Marvel is watching this, so he will find out who his finale opponent will be in just a bit. But it's going to be a very big match here to see how this goes. But, yeah. Do have Aiko joining us here. While we wait for both players here, Aiko, welcome. You could just hear me correctly as you enter the booth. All right, hello. While we wait for both players here, just kind of any pre-game thoughts on this one here, both with both kind of having different paths to get to this point. But face off here, winner gets Marvel side in the finale. Just kind of your thoughts as before you get that, I'm just gonna read Nightwalker's thoughts here. Just try my best, and sorry, I don't think I'll be able to answer much because I have time storage. I'm really in a tough spot right now. Playing you yourself, really like this game to start now and be done ASAP. All right. Yeah, and that's kind of why I wanted to roll through some of this because it's been a scheduling hassle for this. But any quick thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, other than the obvious, I lost to Nightwalker bias. Um, this is a pretty interesting tournament, or I mean, match. It just, Nightwalker's history of being that T4 dream showing of going there and winning it all just to get into D2 chip. Um, Skylar, this being second all-time Final Four appearance after the first time in T1 of this season. So a lot of interesting background there.
All right, I'm gonna read Sky's thoughts. We're gonna get things started with Sky. But it means a lot, honestly. Coming into the season, goal is prove I can consistently compete at the highest level. I'm gonna make it the second Final Four, so his work I've been putting in is paying off. Every tournament's taught me something. I feel like I've become a much calmer and more confident player. Nice kind of point. You have to expect one MRE tournament before for a reason. We've known each other for a while and know exactly how dangerous he can be. Want to make my first finale? Probably no better test to go with someone who's already been there and done it. T1 is definitely back in my mind too. Falling short of final, now he's stung, but instead of letting me define me, I use the motivation. Now I have no chance. Whether or not I make it, I walk away knowing I played a game without fear, but I could get redemption finally reach first finale. That would mean everything. All right, 12 card start here. We are underway, and we have a wild to kick things off. So I think this is both Final Four matches that end up starting with a wild.
Yep, yes, it is. Our third culture to go with it between both so far. Potentially more to come. We are going to start with the red 2 from Skylar.
Yeah, clock started a little late there because I was just trying to read the last thoughts there from Sky. But again, we are officially underway here. Red 2 the start. Was a 12 card start going to end up being 13 due to that culture draw, but again, we'll see how this goes here. We saw the last Final Four end up in a 5-0 sweep here, so I'm not sure if either player is feeling a bit anxious after seeing that. Maybe wanting to get out to the early lead here and not have the calm setting in of something like that happening to them, but we'll see where this goes.
Will I finally commentate a non-sweep match this tournament? Remains to be seen.
That
Uh,
that would be
for
the
the
hope.
time being, though, that would be the hope. Um, Now, yeah, getting a little more into kind of what I was trying to speed through earlier with Skylar posting, but yeah, Sky, first Final Four in T1, also beating me. Ugh. Um, but yeah, so that was a very big moment for them going into it, and then to be able to make it back a second time after going, is this guy's second or third season in D2?
This is third season. They were in the first
Third
act. They
season.
were actually in the first tournament. They've been in every tournament since.
Yeah, so being in every single D2 tournament, and finally getting there to that Final Four spot, and then to be able to come back a second time in the same season, there's a lot of hope there to potentially push even further to take that win for Sky here. Meanwhile, obviously, like we said, Knight, it is just, you almost wonder if Lightning is going to strike twice here, if it is going to be that T4 magic that is going to just pull in clutch. and push knight out to d2 chip just like that.
Triple play
So a
here.
lot to go there.
Sky going in the green.
Yeah, it took a while, but we do have our first switch. Time to see how knight reacts.
All right. Double up
Does
here.
have a card to
Knight.
play at least.
Yep. Double up goes into the 8. Sky is out though, so switched into a draw.
Yikes. Yeah, not what you want to see there, especially being the person who switches into that to kind of force yourself into such an quick out there. Maybe was hoping for a quick switch over into yellow or blue. Um,
Yeah, well, gonna have to wait and see what Knight has here. Gonna be a green 3. Does Sky have an option now? Was typing there before Knight played.
if Sky does not have an option, Sky does with the wild blue, and does manage to keep the lead very slightly.
If that ends up being a top deck, that's a fortunate top deck, but I'm gonna have to wonder if Knight's gonna respond here, or if he's just gonna roll with the blue. Ooh, alright, big
Yeah,
run
that's a
here.
roll, all right.
Big run
A
into the
4 card
red.
roll back to red. And on that 3 that Skylar just used a wild on, and presumably Sky switched out of red into green because of, you would think, an out. So this could be dicey to say the least.
Oh, but Sky gonna get back into the
Does
blue
have a
here.
fire.
Both are at 4.
Nightwalker to lead though.
Getting close to 5 minutes to open up this game here. We'll see if Knight can play on this blue, or maybe if he has another switch up his sleeve. No, nothing from Knight.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're Sky here. I mean, presumably, probably has at least one yellow card. Could have gotten a lucky draw and maybe just has to run it out on blue here to win. But the question is when a potential switch is coming here from either of these players.
Sky does not have any blue left either, so it's a double draw here.
Yeah, unfortunate number efficiency there. Just Sky second time just in this first game switching over to a color with a run just to run out of cards in that color immediately. Just seems to be having some loose ends that are not quite able to get tied up. But Draw City at least will kind of make it land even for both players here.
Yeah, I don't know. This has been a bit of a strange start so far here to open the game. Because I mean, ultimately, Sky did want to get that blue there. I think that although I think Sky originally wanted it to be a switch out in the red, but the big run from Knight kind of forced them to change their plans. But they do get a top deck in the green.
Yeah, so probably not the color you want to see if you're Sky. I mean, absolutely could have drawn some greens there to work with, but was that first color to show a weakness on there. So if Knight can exploit that, this could go pretty bad pretty quick.
Yeah, well, let's see. Knight taking a second here to figure out what he does next here with the switch out of blue in the green.
Is not even typing, so there really must be a think happening here. Could have potentially got something a bit ugly here, like the other blue 9 to have to work with, and then it kind of becomes a question of, do you want to leave that loose end to have to potentially come back and pick up later, or do you need just commit yourself to draw city and push back? But he is going to switch to red.
I actually don't think this is bad for Sky here. Oh, never mind, it is. No red left, so
It
it's a
is
draw.
in fact.
I thought maybe Sky could have had a little bit more red, but I guess not.
Yeah, that other switch, I would believe that, but it just seemed like not enough draws had happened in the time.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That is a terrible mistake from Sky. And this has not been a good game one to start this series out. As they try to preemptively have the wild yellow, but it actually does get swapped into yellow in the first place.
Yeah, just gets pushed back 6 cards, wastes a wild, and not only is it wasting that wild, it's wasting it on Nightwalker's switch to the fourth color, which hasn't been played at all with Night, with only 2 cards left now after that yellow 3. This is very dire here. You could, at the very least, the most you can really hope for is that somehow Knight has some awkward like greens to work with, but Sky is gonna fire back with a ton of yellow ammo here,
Yeah, keeps it yellow, throws a
and
plus
has
2 in there. That still kind of sucks for Sky though, because I mean that the wild just got completely burnt up. That could have been used for later, especially if there's like a stray color. But,
yeah, definitely. And I'm getting a little nervous right now because I'm noticing a very distinct lack of draw fours so far this game, and we are a third of the way through the deck here. I do wonder actually how much of that run Sky already had in their hand before getting pushed back 6 cards and was planning to, run down with that.
yeah, I mean this has been a bit of a slower paced game here, so just about to hit 10 minutes.
Knight does switch to blue. Not an unreasonable thing to do, but with that +6, yeah, Skylar does have at least one blue to play off of it. And Knight is out.
That's another time someone has swapped the color and then immediately draws there. I feel like both these players are looking for the draws and then getting a bailout, and it just has not been appearing so far.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Nightwalker probably got that blue one off of the draw two and just had to get rid of it because blue had been played a few times already and just did not want that straggler. And was probably going for that quick switch with that red one that just got played there.
And Sky does the same thing.
And both her four cards has a green one as well. So even with that one draw, definitely or 2 draws there, most likely had at least one of those.
Alright.
Has a 2 card run down to Uno.
Sky's still with
Sky has
nothing.
nothing to play.
Haven't seen a single +4 either, and we won't see one in that game. And Knight's gonna take game one. And yeah, that was I don't know, that was a bit of a sloppy game there, but Knight able to ultimately uh get it done. So we'll see how that goes for the rest of the series here, but in the end, Knight gonna be up game one, and I mean Sky there had a win before the +6 or close to a win. Would have had to needed to play another turn, but uh yeah, it's a bit of a frustrating one there.
Yeah, a bit of a tough lineup just with that yellow 5 and that blue 9. They're a bit detached and can't really get both reverses out, but definitely had what looks like a good plan for sure.
Alright, we'll keep it moving here. Sky with the game two call. We'll see where they go. Can pick anything still. Gonna go down to 10. Alright, and this one's gonna be a blue +2 start here. So,
Will we get a big send? No,
no.
we get an H3.
Hue 3, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a color that starts with H.
Uh,
Honeydew yellow. I don't know. Um,
why
whatever.
am I not thinking of colors that start with H?
There's not many, and if there are any, it's usually just like a variation of an already existing color. But anyways, sky with the blue 3. Not gonna jump on the blue plus 2. And just going to be number run here at the start from both players. Well, yeah, Pez, it's actually Thursday, so. Anyways, Sky with the blue 7.
Yeah, I'm just getting a lot of very niche, like 2 or 3 word color names.
Yeah, Ditto play from Night, first Ditto of the series. Both are still just running numbers here on blue.
Is which pretty calm. Yeah, there's our first switch. Just as you say it.
I do think that was kind of around the time both players were hoping to get something switched and get a different color rolling, so I think that's gonna work fine for both. If someone does have a stray blue, though, that might be a problem.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully these players, being experienced enough, probably got down their numbers that they don't have switch intos first. So they most likely, if anyone still has blues, they do have options to work with. We are keeping it running again.
Night with the,
And
not
three
Night,
card run
Sky.
from Sky.
Sky with the run, still on plan A, down
And
to 2. Night with the green 3. Does Sky get one back here
lets it
quickly?
happen.
On the Uno.
It's exactly what you want to see if you are Sky, to at least break even on your 2 games and just punch back quick.
Switch the red. Does it work?
Switch.
Yes. Iced
It
it
is
out.
not fatal.
Knight down to 3. Looking to make it 2 now. Another switch in the
Just
yellow.
yellow.
Use the red to go across there. Sky at Uno again. Knight is at 2 cards though. Could get a 1-2 here and do it. And just like that, there you go.
Has
1-2.
it. Wow.
This is not a good start for Sky here. It's going to be 2-0 Knight. I don't know what the last card was for Sky there, but um yeah, it was close.
Just gonna find.
Got potentially iced on red. Yeah, green 2, that wasn't iced then, so
Yep.
yeah. Alright, well, again, keep it going because time, but 7 card start for Knight. And yeah, Sky's gonna need to look to try and regroup here. But yeah, we run yellow to start. Yellow 8 was the starting card, and it's gonna be all yellow numbers here with the Ditto. Oh, mention
Yeah, I
also.
would agree with that. That was just a very impressive, like, confident double switch there from Knight to go out on with that yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think just going with the red there on that one to kind of transcend that into the yellow. I mean, that really worked out well. And then Sky got the Uno off the top deck yellow 5, but Knight had it 1 on the double. So
Yeah, I'm assuming that means that Sky was planning to go out with the green 2 the first time at Uno and did not have the yellow 5 then.
yeah.
Just happened to top deck.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing with that though is that ultimately like what comes down to a 50-50 there, and that did not go the way Sky needed. Sky is once again at 2 cards. That is the first +4 of the series.
Somehow, yeah. We've run through, what, 50 or so, 50, 60 cards now, and yet Only our first draw four in game three. Runs down to blue, and
Oh,
Knight
well,
has a switch of two
double.
cards again, but Sky has two, and that will definitely be enough to punch back. And we do not have a sweep. Hallelujah.
Yeah, well, Sky Knight, whoever wins this also automatically gets third now, since the other Final Four was a sweep. But yeah, Sky just straight up had the hand there, and I mean for Sky, that's definitely gonna put some relief there because it wasn't looking to be a great start, but that's gonna help things, and that is not what Sky needed. Unfortunately, Sky has been making a few mistakes early on here. Um, is that one going to be costly? That was the question because we do run the no send here. It's only going to be an
Do we
issue
get the
if
immediate
Knight
switch
switches.
now because of that green 8?
All right, so we'll be able to play it, but Knight already done the 3.
I wait
Or
for the
not.
day that
Okay.
there's or not. I wait for
Doesn't
the day that there's just an incredible play of someone faking having a card of the color and someone switches off of it because they're out. Uh, it'd be
I mean,
funny.
Knight went for the no send gamble, and this might straight up be a 2-turn win here.
Yeah, with that typing and Knight saying I feel bad for you, that's not sounding good. Oh
Well,
yeah, there's the two draw fours to fire back.
the double plus fours came back for Knight there in that game there, and it's now in the matter of like 3 minutes. It went from one. It went from one. Went from 2-0 to 3-1.
I'd just like to comment, Knight actually had a one turn out there. Could have gone draw four, draw two, draw four, green reverse, green zero, and just one turn that.
That is true, actually. Maybe he had a little bit of mercy, but yeah. This has been a very
I
bizarre
mean, I would
series
not
here.
say that Final Four is the place to have mercy, but uh yeah, I mean, Knight is on a time crunch, so maybe just didn't immediately see that one turn path and was trying to play as quick as possible. Not really worrying about colors and just getting rid of the greens early because I mean, odds that you're going to get blocked when you have two draw fours and a draw two in a 5 card game are pretty slim.
Alright.
But we are back up to the mid high ranges with another 12 start from Sky. Hoping to return payback there. We are going to get an early switch off to blue there from Knight.
Yeah.
And
Technically,
Sky's going to go right back.
yeah, doesn't want to switch the blue right away here. I, I think for Knight here. Um, okay, that's actually kind of interesting because Knight originally did try to do a blue 8
I
before. I'm wondering if maybe originally he was looking for red 8 and then changed his mind last minute.
Yeah, what is going on there? Skylar having none of that and obviously switching to the red 5 there. Has a
Yeah.
yellow 5 to fire back though from Knight. Is playing that yellow 8. Will we see it?
All right, well, kind of bringing flashbacks to game 1 there where we had both players ultimately switch the color then immediately draw, and Knight drawing on the yellow there.
And
Sky gonna take advantage of the 8 to go in the blue.
yeah, and suddenly Sky's actually the one with the blue 8 in hand here, not Knight after all, which makes that a very interesting typo earlier. Potentially he's using number pad and just went diagonal. Otherwise, I'm confused. Either way, we're running it on blue.
Yep. Knight had double blue one there, but now going up to the two. Both just kind of keep running it here. Sky, I think, is still on plan A, so I mean, for Sky, I would really like to get another game here and just kind of bring it back to one down.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, a couple cards up here. And this is looking to be a run of some kind. Could it potentially be a 5 card run to go out right now and go 3-2?
It's taken a while for this one, and there's another +4 in the
One, two,
mix, so we're
three.
looking at a
Yeah,
5-card finish.
only I was gonna say only plays 3, so that you don't have to worry about that
Nope.
Uno call out.
No,
Nope.
actually, only at Uno.
Yeah, probably hands were tied there and just were forced to play that card chain out in order to not draw here. Nightwalker switches to yellow,
And that's going to be a
and
nice.
it is gonna stop it.
That might have been the second time that Sky could have had a lineup on green for Uno and then ultimately just gets swapped on and forced the draw. So
Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate. I mean, yeah, if you're right and it's just two green or one green number card left there at the end, there's not much you can do. Uh you're kind of just stuck having to hope that your opponent doesn't have a switch off. But we are in Draw City now, and honestly, you don't hate it now if it balances out for your Sky, but you really don't want to get those cards back up high enough to where that 2, 3 card gap doesn't matter anymore. And both of them have an out. Knight
Skies
going
might
to
have
blue,
actually
Sky going to red.
Skies might have been a top deck because I mean they drew on that yellow 9 before.
That is true. Yeah,
Night taking a
meanwhile,
while.
Knight's probably was a coincidental top deck yellow 9 having already had that blue. Uh, and he's gonna fire a draw 2, and suddenly that 2 card lead that Sky had for so long has now gone back to Knight. And now Sky is gonna switch to blue. Knight could have potentially only had that blue 9 or not much on blue and just played it out of convenience there, but this does feel like it could be playing into Knight's hand here of letting him run through red before switching off back into blue.
Right, well, Knight with the lead here. We do get the switch in the blue.
Does have a 2 card run.
Knight's out though. Sky looking to try and reel him back in. Switch the green, both have 4.
Yep. Does have a play for Knight. So keeps the lead just barely.
Alright, +2 from
Not
Sky
anymore with
here.
that draw 2 though.
That's gonna give a little bit breathing room to Sky here. Sky down to 2.
And
What's Knight do? Another switch. Goes in the red.
could this
Sky.
be yet another ice out on that off of that green?
Sky's at Uno here. We don't know what the last card is, though. We'll see what Knight does. Taking a second. Knight has 3 cards.
And it has 4 cards.
Oh, Knight has 4 cards. I lied. And he's gonna draw.
Not one of them to play. And
And
Skylar's out again too.
Sky has been struggling to find these finishes here.
Yeah, just not able to capitalize. Does get a top deck to go back down to Uno, but Knight knows that this is not a red card.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Knight here, I would not be surprised if they just draw again. Um,
And actually,
it's just
the
kind of
only possible finish for Sky is that blue zero, according to the history. The green and yellow zeros have been played. So this, if you're Knight, you're probably fine just drawing here, honestly, and not worrying about it.
well, we'll see. I guess this becomes a little interesting if Knight has the blue zero, but also it's a very risky switch. Knight's gonna draw. Sky needs the
Yeah.
blue zero to finish. Does not have it.
Yeah, pretty unsurprising given how blue ran out there. Has another red six.
Another draw from Sky. Knight's still with nothing. Another draw.
Yeah, still with nothing, or just potentially even stalling, because that red six was the initial card that Skylar went down to Uno on and just could not get out. So you know there's at least one card that Sky can't play off that. So you can sit comfy if you don't feel good with your hand and want to keep running it back up. As long as Sky doesn't start moving. Sky starting a potentially longer type could have just been a preemptive Uno draw. Could have been more.
Yeah, Charles still coming in here. Sky with a top deck red too, but I think for Sky really looking to get out of this red.
Pretty desperately, I would imagine at this point, because it is getting old fast, and the last thing you want is for your opponent to catch up.
Mm.
Both have a switch again.
Sky's going to get the better of it there with the switch to blue. And Sky drawing again.
I was gonna say, are we so sure that's the better of it?
Well, I mean, getting the better of the two with the crossover, but we'll get out of the blue. Gets out of the blue the next turn with the green.
Lucky break to hopefully keep running it down.
And Knight with another two. This guy's still drawing, and
Out
this is
again.
looking like a
This is, I
very
mean,
consolidated hand
you
here.
you just got out of Draw City on red. You just went to blue and drew. You just went to green and drew. This is a very telling moment for Sky's hand, unfortunately.
I don't think Knight is on this stream, so it's
I
like
was gonna say, I
whatever.
also don't think so.
All right, well, I think for Sky really looking for a specific switch here, not going to find it there. As soon as this loads, there we go. And yeah, suddenly Knight in the
Yeah,
lead here
and
at 3.
yeah, again, I mean, this kind of just feels like the story of a lot of Knights games here, at least that I've seen. Just uh seems like he's behind, but then just goes and goes and goes, and suddenly just will catch up to you like nothing when you're not expecting it, and will just run out on you. And it's kind of amazing just that the number efficiency will just line up better like that.
And well, there's your yellow here, but I think for Sky, it's gonna be very dependent on what they have here. I do expect Sky to play this, but it seems like Knight is it's very set on this yellow
Both
with the wild.
lot of ammo open on yellow. Both draw twos even, so lot could happen in just 5 cards.
And we'll see. We'll see. Both kind of low here. I'm looking at the history. Okay, so yeah, Sky is not going to
Yeah,
want to take any risks there, and is going to just hand 4 cards here and keep it yellow.
just firing a pushback. I don't blame it at all.
I'm actually kind of curious when that +4 came out because that might be a bit of fortunate timing if that ended up being the prior draw. Yeah, top. Okay, so it was a top deck, so
Yeah,
timing there ended up being
that makes
fortunate
sense.
enough.
Probably, if that happened at any point earlier, would have taken the first opportunity to get the heck out of Dodge and go back to yellow.
Yeah, I think Sky needed to do that, so I don't blame him. And Knight is saying the +4 gave him horrible cards, so that might work out in Sky's favor here, who very much needs this win. I really don't think Sky
I
can
think
afford
can
to lose
still make
another
it
long game here.
happen though. Yeah, definitely not. I mean, that is just it's very draining. Especially to be down 4-1 early like that.
Sky at Uno, we've seen Knight ice this so many times, though. Can he do
That
it
we
again?
have, and with that draw 4 gets, assuming Knight was telling the truth, got a bunch of numbers there, so very possible it could be a 7 of a different color, but it's
But does
also
Sky
just
need
as
to
possible
will Sky need to
Guy
switch, though,
could
is
need
the
a
question.
switch.
All right, Knight taking a second
Claims
here,
to be
though.
the fatal switch master.
Yeah, we'll see. Sky looking to hopefully get this win here. Knight gonna keep it yellow.
Does
Does
not have a
Sky need another
switch.
yellow? Does Sky have it? No, does not
Does
have the
not
last yellow.
again. Oh my goodness. Just really struggling to capitalize.
And Knight again keeps the game going. It's been absolute agony here for Sky.
Yeah, I mean, at what point are you just hoping, praying for just a top deck draw 4 to really just end your suffering and just get that quick out?
Well,
Nightwalker down to Uno.
pressure goes to
Tale as
Sky
old as
here,
time, this
but
set.
my question is, can Sky even do anything here? Because they only have 2 cards and they just drew on yellow. So if a yellow is played, it would have to be a top deck. Nothing
Nothing
there,
to
so
play.
just along for the ride. It's been all yellow here, so 3 of the 4 +4 cards were yellows here, and I think for Sky, it looks like the last one was not a yellow, so game keeps going.
Yeah, and I think that is the first time this set so far that Knight has not been able to capitalize getting down to Uno. So definitely a good break there for Sky to get another chance at this hand.
Yeah, I mean, this is a long one here. We're at 16 minutes. Knight top decks the yellow 6.
You do know it's not a yellow at least, but
That's
it
a
could be a
risky
6.
switch.
Switches.
It's a very risky switch here. And that is not, that's why it's like you don't know if you want to do that. It's a +2.
Has a blue draw too. That could have been a really bad card for Knight to be stuck with if that switch didn't happen. That is really just a brutal way to end that game.
What was
Oh, had an
this?
out after that switch.
Yeah, that is brutal for Sky. Um, took the risk there on that, and it did not pay off.
Yeah, just green being the cursed color for Sky here. Just every single Uno being stuck with a green and either being switched off of it or stuck out of it.
All right, well,
And yeah, game 6 must win with your opponent having a power play in hand not the scenario you want to be in here. Gonna stick with a pretty low mid game here. It's where you won the first time. Can't blame it.
Alright, red 5 here. Sky can. I mean, listen, Sky has made comebacks before. I mean, even in this tournament, they were down 3-1 and brought it back against Steven here. Um, there's not really anything to say that Sky's ruled out of this right now, but I think the biggest thing is Sky needs a momentum shift and especially do not need to shoot themselves in the foot here. So obviously this game is important to win because I mean if Sky loses the series is over, but very much is going to need a momentum shift here and yeah, well that's going to be a helpful start there as it's going to be +4 at the top and then a +2 add to it that up to 13.
Yeah, I mean, definitely just absolutely don't count Sky out of it here because, got to Final Four two times this season for a reason, but definitely has to play careful, has to have just the right timing to keep pushing through. And that is not good timing as Knight is going to find a weakness in blue early in this game against Sky.
Yeah, and I mean with the amount of cards Knight has, I would expect him to try and to take advantage of this here. We'll see. Sometimes players see the draw then immediately switch and maybe take note of it for later, but we'll see what Knight does here. +2, so throws two more cards onto it.
Does have a fire back of his own. Now, what was a
Mm,
7 card gap is now only a 3 card gap, but does give Skylar the out to switch to 3 on yellow.
yeah. I mean, if Sky had no blue there, might not be a bad spot to be in there, because then they could just kind of run it here with with the two extra cards and not have to be concerned about the blue at the moment. But Diddle play there on the yellow. We just keep running yellow for now. Both players with a good amount of yellow here. Sky back down to 4.
Yeah. Again, I mean, the this this is scaring me at this point just because it's that same 2, 3, 4 card lead runs down, doesn't quite get out, and not not to hopefully jinx anything, but I have not seen green this game again.
Well,
So hopefully it is not game 5 all over again here.
well, we had the wild red here. Sky had the first play on red 8 here. We'll see if they have a second. No, they do not. And I think your suspicion might be getting confirmed here again. And this is gonna be a terrifying color for Sky here if that ends up being the case. But
Yeah. I mean, could be a yellow run out that needs to happen here, but oh no. That's an F from Knight. This could be a power play finish.
power plays
Yes, it
there.
is.
Could Nightwalker be on his way to his second Tournament 4 finale? And this would also be, I believe, the first finale with no Americans in it. Red 4, and then the red reverse here, looking for the 5-card finish. Yeah, can't power play back.
Yeah, has to play a card in between. Well, not stopped yet, but this could potentially be Knight setting up a situation like last 2 cards of draw 4 and something else.
And that is
Tries to get
it.
had it,
Wow.
and that is it.
Nightwalker
Brutal
takes
set
it, and
for
again,
Sky.
oh man. Again for Sky was close, and the green is going to, again, be costly, and Knight going to the finale here to go up against Marvel's side.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sky just experienced what I experienced in the regional finals. Just really the cards just not quite lining up for you and them absolutely lining up for Knight. Even if there's draw cities, it just slowly chips down and eventually just at some point sneaks right ahead of you and then just walks right out on you.
Yeah. Man, this has been this has been quite a bizarre Final Four here, because yeah, I mean, we ultimately have the 5-0 from Marble there, and then a 5-1 um here in this one, and I mean, really just kind of Knight was able to kind of keep icing out Sky there. The green kept being really costly for Sky, not even just in a single game, like just in general throughout this series. Just could not find a way to get through on that green, and ultimately Knight going to take it there, even with the I mean, the 5-2 difference on the plus fours there. Knight, I mean, I feel like Knight came in with a plan and really just kind of executed it to perfection there, and Sky was just kind of really trying to find answers, and ultimately just could not get much going once they were stuck in like draw limbo there. But
Yeah, pretty much that. I mean, not really that much you can do other than, magically know that you need to dump all of your green cards early, apparently. Uh, just did not line up, and that is going to just, that's going to be how the game goes sometimes.
well, I mean, Sky, I mean, for your just generally your post game thoughts here. I mean, obviously not the way you wanted that one to go there. You do finish third, but definitely an unfortunate way to go out here. I mean, in general for you, what do you think went wrong here, and just kind of any final thoughts here? As another great tournament run for you overall here, but unfortunately once again comes to an end in the final four.
I genuinely had the hand every single game, and that green messed me up every single game. It, I tried my best, but that green just could not connect with everything he did against me.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's a unfortunate way to go. I don't know if I have ever seen I mean, I've seen in the past where like a color would linger to be an issue for someone in a game, but I don't think I have ever seen it where it was nonstop every game the same color causing issues, Aiko. I mean, is that something you've seen in the past before? Because I mean that the green was one of the biggest stories in this game here, because it played a pivotal role in like nearly every game except like games 3 and 4, which those were just kind of like quick 1-2 finishes. But
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen and played games where it's just like you're maybe poking a little fun of you're being I've had it a few times where it's like I've been a pest to someone and I've poked fun and been like, no, I'm switching it back to blue and you're gonna suffer because you apparently can't ever get blue cards. But I've never seen something just this almost like vindictive, spiteful something. Like it just felt like the cards were just saying, "Nope, you're going to get iced on green at Uno every time and just not going to have it." And that's just absolutely brutal to have that. It feels like the game's mocking you. It really does, and that's the last thing that you want to see in such a high stakes match like this.
Right after I sweeped tricolor this morning, 3-0.
that was UUL there,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah. Well, again, that will likely do it here. So I mean, this is gonna set up a finale of I mean, I guess two different sides here on this one, because for Nightwalker here, likely gonna have to win that game to make the DCU championship, and bizarrely, that would be the second time in his career he would have potentially have a walk-off tournament win. Um, and goes up against Marble side here, as we get the updated bracket. Uh, yeah, there we go, updated bracket. Um, yeah, I mean, the Marble Knight in this finale here. Marble lost in the finale last tournament. Knight in a potentially looking to repeat from 2024. I mean, Aiko, any final thoughts on this matchup here? as we do have our regular season
Yeah, I
finale set up.
mean, this actually is almost comical. It is just Knight going against people in a row, just trying to beat their best. Me in the Elite Eight, Sky in the Final Four, and now Marble trying to come back and win the finale. It's almost comical, and it almost makes you wonder if Knight truly is just going to be poised to have that miracle T4 tournament again. And but at the same time, there are the wonders of Marble's scoreline trends of, will this truly be continuing on to that +6 differential, getting a full sweep in the finale, which would be insane. There's a lot of superstition and hype that goes into this final match here, for sure.
Yeah, we'll be bringing you the coverage of it when we get it confirmed, but that's gonna do it. I just realized I didn't do the transition for this one here, so let me quickly redo that because I don't I usually like doing that for the final four matches, so just give me a second as I quickly fix that. Um, but yeah, again, okay, so going back to the final four, there's the bracket. Here's the update. Boom, there you go. Nightwalker confirms his spot in the final performance here. And we'll see who gets it done here and officially confirms the final auto lock into D2 championship here. But that's gonna do it for the stream. I want to thank Aiko for joining me on commentary. It was kind of a late ad. Ironically, I think for the second stream again. It wasn't a sweep this time, so at least that curse is broken. It was still a bit lopsided, but
Yes,
wasn't a sweep.
barely, but it's free. But
All right, well. That's gonna do it for coverage of this one. Thank you so much for watching. Want to thank Yupez for being our ref as well, and on behalf of everyone on the team, including myself, my co-commentator Rico, our referee Yupez, everyone who came out to watch this stream, including both our players. Thank you so much for watching the stream. Congratulations to Nightwalker in his second finale. Could he be on the verge of history here? We have never had someone win a tournament in 2 different seasons, and Knight could also be the first person to win the same tournament twice, because ironically, might and not just tournament 4. He might have something for music themes tournaments, because the tournament he won was Acoustic August, and flash forward 2 years later, we're in Jazz July, and will this be the second tournament win for Nightwalker, or will Marbleside, as the 1 seed, look to put his official stamp of approval and say that he is here, get redemption from Medieval Mayhem and win the tournament? We will find out for you here in the final performance here, but until then, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out coverage for Jet Set July and the in-season challenge on D1 as well. But other than that, we'll see you all next time for the final performance finale between Marbleside and Nightwalker, and we will determine who wins Jazz July, and we'll officially book their spot into the D2 championship. But until then, I'm G-Man. Take care, everyone. We will see you all then.